It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another live episode of the Mike Prince Show. It is our daily mission to try to bring you some news that you could use. Today will be no exception to that rule. Follow me on Twitter at the Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. Don't forget the website, obnradio.com. And the YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And without any further delay, we're going to jump right into tonight's episode. We bring you greetings. We are on remote location on tonight, but all is well. We continue to move forward in our coverage of the world of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, in particular, the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. And speaking of the Panthers, how about them Panthers taking care of business on yesterday and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats? A little craziness in the atmosphere, but we got it taken care of. Panthers go on the road to win 35-29. They improved their record to 4-0 in conference play, 5-1 overall. Now the big test will be this week as they get ready to take on the Southern Jaguars. Southern Jaguars looking rejuvenated and strong, taking care of Pine Bluff. Actually, no problems at all with Pine Bluff with a strong performance. So the stage is set. Coach Dooley returning home. Allow me to put it in a term, to the scene of the crime, where he'll be taking on the Southern Jags. Homecoming for the Jags. And it should be a very, as they say, interesting contest. Panthers looking strong. It kind of struggled a little bit. We'll talk to Coach about that. Some strange things going on, even some flirtation with taunting on behalf of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Nonetheless, it is what it is. You get it done. Panthers looking strong. Panthers looking real strong. And it's just like you said, so it's a matter of time now before these clash with the Titans in the Western Division. Alcorn and Southern on the horizon. Some other football scores, of course, we told you about. The Panthers victorious 35-29 over the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. You have Florida A&M pulling one out against Alabama A&M. Coach Maynor and the Bulldogs struggling. That score is 35-31. Coach Maynor is trying to find his way, get his compass to get things right on how they can recover, if you would. Then you have the Southern game that we talked about, Southern all over the Pine Bluff Golden Lions, 34-7. Pine Bluff struggling, trying to find their way. You know, the echoes. Was it a fluke for the Bulldogs? Was it a fluke for the Golden Lions in the spring? Nonetheless, they were the ones that would battle, but they're trying to find their way right now. Other SWAC scores. A pretty good game between the Mississippi Valley Delta Devils and the Alcorn State Braves. Alcorn victorious on that one, 24-12. And then Texas Southern falling short to the Tigers of Grambling by the score 34-20. So the weekend is all set, or behind us, I should say, and the stage is being set for this week's matchups. This week, you will have Arkansas Pine Bluff will be taking on Alabama, number 17, Arkansas, I'm sorry. They'll be taking on Arkansas. Pretty much know how that one might turn out. We also have Bethune-Cookman will be taking on Jackson State. We'll talk about Bethune-Cookman in just a moment. Florida A&M will come to the Delta to take on Mississippi Valley. Of course, Prairie will be at Southern. You have Alabama State will be at Texas Southern. So should be some good games, rounding up and matching up. But the Bethune-Cookman is more or less like a trap game, if you ask me. You're not really sure what can and will happen. I'm glad that the Panthers were able to weather the storm and get through that. Like I said, it was some touch-and-go situations for a moment, but the Panthers were able to get through that one. You know, Bethune, I'm really, really surprised in what they have not been able to do. And I'm pretty sure everybody else in Wildcat Country is just as shocked and surprised that they have what they have. But nonetheless, Prairie gets past that trap game, they're able to move forward and get ready to take on the likes of the Southern Jaguars. This game is the game that I've been circling from day one. Because this particular program, the Southern Jaguars and the Alcorn State Braves, have been the Achilles heel for Coach Dooley and the Panthers since his leadership. He's had the answer for Grambling. He's had the answer for Pine Bluff. He's had the answer for Texas Southern. The teams that he struggled against was Jackson State, Alcorn, and Southern. And a common denominator that those three programs have had is that they've been physical programs. And this will be a true litmus test. I thought Pine Bluff was going to be a bit more physical than what they displayed when Prairie played them on the Thursday night. But nonetheless, the stage is set. The tempo is set that Prairie View can truly set a whole different narrative. They find a way to get through and pass that Achilles heel of the Southern Jaguars. Stay within. Don't try to overdo anything. Don't change what you've been doing, but go in there and take care of business. Pass is proven to be the real deal. Another solid performance for the Panthers on the road. As we stated, pass, taking care of business. As they say, kicking tail, taking names, doing what needs to be done. Panthers, in my opinion, still have room for improvement. Still can do some things that could shake up an entire atmosphere with that perfect storm, with that perfect game. Will it be against Southern? I'm hoping like the Dickens it is. Will it be a game of misfortune, a game of victory, a game of poise and composure in a very hostile situation and environment, no doubt that they'll be faced up against? Because we know that the Baton Rouge natives of Jackson, I'm sorry, not Jackson, but of Jaguar country, love to get their programming and partying on and make things happen. And let's just hope that the Panthers can come in with a strong performance. Speaking of performance, pass against the Jags, 15 of 22, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns on yesterday's performance. He did have no interceptions. no interceptions, and strong, strong performance for Mr. Pass, who continues to stay hot, continues to do the right things. And he's going to definitely have to do the right things on the road against the Southern Jags. A lot to look forward to. A lot to be, as I say, excited about with the Panthers. Panthers definitely in the driver's seat. Definitely in the driver's seat. And you couldn't ask for a better scenario, a better storm than what you have coming up ahead. Once again, Pass. Another strong night. Strong night. 237 yards. You can't ask for a better night. I guess you get 300, 400 yards. But more importantly, as we mentioned, you're getting the win. Getting the win. Panthers had a total passing yards, as we said, 237 from pass. And looking at some of these stats that we have here, 168 rushing yards for the Panthers compared to 42 yards, for Bethune-Cookman. So still got to tighten up on some of the running attack and get some things situated in that area. But overall, the Panthers holding it down. 6 punts for both teams on yesterday as they were coming to go. Now, I always look at the penalties. Penalties play a huge role. Panthers has 6 penalties for 58 yards. Bethune-Cookman, 7 penalties for 50 yards. So that area is definitely improving. And that's the sign of a championship program, a disciplined program, when you're taking care of the business that needs to be taken care of and got things going on and doing the right things, especially on the road. You know you're not going to get all the right calls, all the right environment, but that's okay too. And we know that, we expect that. No excuses, just go in and get it done. We're going to be reaching out to Coach Dooley here in just a moment, get him on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union hotline. We can hear firsthand how he assessed yesterday's performance and what he's going to have to look forward to coming up against the Southern Jags. We know this is going to be a huge game, and we're getting ready now to try to get access to Coach Dooley. We reach out to him on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union hotline here on the live edition. Coach Eric Dooley, the Prairie University Panthers, go on the road, still one tough fought game. Coach, how you doing, and welcome to the show, sir.
Doing well, thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you for being, man. Thing got tight toward the end, huh? Oh, hold on, Coach. I think I lost you for a second. You there? Okay. I said that thing got a little tight on us toward the end, huh?
I thought they played it tight the whole game. Actually, it was tighter than that than it was at the end. But some things went our way. Our team fought for 60 minutes, and it wound up paying off for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, Coach, it's always tough to go on the road, but you got it done, and congratulations on that. And my thing is not being overconfident. This was another game that, when you look at it on paper, should be one we can look back now since it's been done. But this should have been a game to go in there. If we do it, we do take care of business, right?
Yeah, you look at you try to take that approach, but the thing that just being, I guess, having a lot of experience in the conference, having a lot of experience going against a lot of different coaches, I knew that a Terracine football team was going to be ready to play. I knew they was going to play for 60 minutes, and I knew it was going to be a challenging contest. Some things, when you look at the conference, they got, we doing well, some other teams are doing well, and just the ball just haven't bounced the right way for Coach Sims and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. But I never looked at the records. I just looked at the opponents and what they showed on tape and what they showed a no quit attitude.
Yes, sir. And that's good. And like I was saying, let them wake up on somebody else. I'm glad we got them behind us. It's one thing when you play a team that obviously has some talents, but has been hitting some bumps in the roads, as you mentioned. They're going to break out sooner or later, but let them break out on somebody else, right?
Absolutely. You just don't want it to be you. You want to just continue to fight. But, I commend my guys because, we talking about a trip that they went up there and they understood. I thought we were a little flat the first half. Just still had the, I thought, still riding on the jet to me. We still wasn't there like we wanted to be. And, when you know your team and you know how your team responds and just not moving as fast as you would like them to, you just kind of like say, well, I hope the trip didn't take its toll on us. But, those guys are resilient. Those guys fought back and they fought to the end.
Yes, sir. Now, Coach, when you really look at this thing, and like you say, this was the perfect trap game, wasn't it?
I kept hearing that. I read things and a lot of kind of put a lot of things up under my belt. It was a dangerous game. It's a danger out in the West, and we understand that. But when we use the acronym WIN, and we keep that in our mindset, what's important now? The only thing that was important was that game. That's the only thing that was important, and it didn't matter who it was that we were playing. We scout every team the same. We understand their strengths and their weaknesses, and it doesn't matter what the record is. We don't worry about what their record is. We worry about what we can do that can have us to be successful against those guys. And I thought the coach did a good job, and we fortunately they came out on the top.
Well, look, I'm going to have to borrow that if you don't mind, Coach, that win, what's important now. I like that. You don't mind if I borrow that for a moment, huh?
Absolutely. It's good. That's good. I think that, we live life right there to understand, and we tell our guys that it sound a little, just for lack of a better word, sometimes when I take it all the way to them, I told them, look, guys, when you wake up in the morning, what's important now? Get on your knees and pray. Next thing, what's important now? Brush your teeth. All that is what is important at that time.
Yes, sir.
So we understand that, and once you get that mindset and get that in your mind, now you understand what we're talking about.
Yes, sir. We're on the Brazos Valley Schools Training and Hotline with Coach Eric Dooley of the Prairie University Panthers. They go into hostile territory and come back unscathed somewhat. Tough fought battle, 4-0 in conference play, 5-1 overall. Now, Coach, when you assess this game, there's never a perfect game, and I said before we got you on the line, still looking for that perfect storm, if you would. And what did you see as far as the improvement of going to the deeper depths and higher levels as the season progresses?
Well, what I saw, and that was very, very pleasing to me when adversity set in. Our team dug down deep and understood what needed to be done, and you can hear the leadership on the sideline. So easy for a coach to go tell a guy what needs to be done, but when you got leaders on the side telling them what we need to do, getting guys together and making things what's very, very important at that time noticeable. I mean, that's what you look for when you can fight through adversity, understanding the situation, and just take charge. So I'm very pleased in that right there. We're still doing okay with some of the things that we're doing, but we just got to watch some of those costly penalties. We're not making all the penalties that we did those past 2 years ago, but sometimes there's some costly penalties that just didn't go our way. But we understand that. We play the game for us. Don't worry about who's out there. And I think the young men are growing in that aspect as far as just understanding any type of sudden change and fighting through adversity.
Yes, sir. Now, when you talk about young men growing past, another strong performance, I believe 237 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, more importantly, protecting the ball, running the offense. Is there more to come from this brother, man, or I mean, he's just going to ride this wave because he's looking very talented and controlled as he's running the offense?
Yeah, and I'm a stat guy, 290 yards passer. I'm a stat guy, but I think he's just getting better each week, for some of the things. And, a lot of times we like to say getting better with the at. So when you just look at a guy, how he managed the game and some of the things that he does, you can see the growth. And so I'm pleased in that aspect, and I know it's some more room to grow. And he's a young man that's a student of the game, so I know he's going to look for perfection as well.
Okay, and looking for that perfection. Before we look toward the next week opponent, which is, each opponent is a big opponent, but this is going to have the asterisk by it. Who would be your offense, defensive player, and your Panther prior to the week, Coach?
Well, you got to give it to Pass, 3 touchdowns, 290-something yards. Did a great job with the ball, had some rushing when we needed it to have that 4-minute offense working. So I'll give it to him. When you talk about the defense, I had an opportunity to take a look at it. Drake Cheatham had 5 tackles and 2 touchdowns. 2 interceptions and 1 for a touchdown return. So I thought he played well. When I talk about that guy that I got to look at, and I look at the pride factor and some of the things, this guy here is a true freshman. And he was put in a hostile situation to get out there and make some plays. This young man came through with 3 receptions, 114 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We're talking about we talking about a young guy that, he's still young, but I like to tell guys after 5 games, there's some more freshmen. So we're talking about Trey Jones, still out of Saline, Texas. And a great, no fear. Stepped on the field like he's been there before and came through for us at a desperate time, a time when it was needed, not like the game was over with. No, he brought it and gave us the lead, a sizable lead with that touchdown. So very pleased to say that he would be that guy.
Okay, very good, very good. Now, when you look at that win, we're going to use that what's important now. The Southern Jaguars are on the table. They come off a strong win over Pine Bluff on yesterday. Of course, they're under new leadership, and they're trying to get adjusted. This game is big in so many manners, Coach, and I can't exaggerate. I've had this game and one other game circled from the day we saw the schedule. And I know you're going to tell me it's just like another game, but you and I know better than that with the competitive spirit that you have. And I know you can't say much, and I'm going to say as much as I can for you without, as they say, crossing the blurred line. This is a huge game coming up this week, is it not?
Let me say, I was very transparent with my team. I told them, I said, I'm not going to never tell you anything that's false. It's a big game, and that's what we play for, big games. You get into big games right here. You say it's a big game because it's the next game, but that actually is a true statement now. It's a big game, and it is the next game. There's no question about it. You're talking about a team that represented the West for so many years, tradition-wise, a hurdle that we have not crossed since I've been here. Yes, it's a big game, and I'm not shy about saying it. We understand that, and everybody knows the magnitude of this year. It comes down to because it's getting down now to the midst of the season, so some things got to start shaking up.
Yes, sir, and it starts shaking up. Now, I know you're a competitor. I'm a competitor, and most sports fans are competitors. Is it safe to assume that when it's a game of this magnitude, Coach, that if we're not careful, we are maybe overcoach and overprepare for the situation like this?
I do thank God for some of the coaches that have been in my life and brought me along. And I talk about Eddie Robinson being my head coach as a player. And I talk about Pete Richardson, who brought me into the game, and some of the things that he afforded me to learn, and I still communicate with him today. When I talk about Monty Coleman, that did so many different things, spiritual side of it, as far as playing 16 years in the National Football League and having the opportunity to work with him, and then go coach for a young man that was a lot younger than I was. But I always say you learn, and I learned a lot from him as well. They kind of pruned me to be ready to understand that you got to take it. Every game has to have the same approach, regardless of how big it is. Just like we tell a player, don't let the stage be too big for you. You can't, as coaches, we can't let the stage be too big for us. You got to go out and do what we are capable of doing, what we normally do. Now, do I think it's a big game? I said it, and I'll say it again. Yes, it is. And I'm going to prepare like I always prepare. And the thing about me, I'm going to always prepare like there's no tomorrow.
Okay, very good. And with that being said, I know you probably start looking at some film, but looking at a glance. But now that they're actually on the radar, they're in the way of the quest for the championship. What are some things that Southern like to try and do, and what are some things that they're doing well that you're going to have to counter to ensure victory this week coming up?
Well, they run the football. You're talking about a team that had 332 yards rushing this past weekend, and one individual, when you talk about the guy Thielen, he had 268 yards and 3 touchdowns. So they like to run the football. And, it's an old cliche, we got to stop the run, but we have to stop the run. That's what they've done well this past weekend and afforded them the victory that they had. They're going to play exciting, aggressively on the defense side of the ball. We do know that. So we got to have our A game and be ready to execute up and down the field. They want to make you have those long, methodical drives so that you can make a mistake. So we understand that. And then when you talk about special teams, they just fall out when it comes out special teams. They're playing fast and they're playing physical. So we do know some of the things that where their strengths are, but we always look at the whole game and see some of the things that we feel good about ourselves. And the biggest thing is that I can take off that, when a team rushed for 332 yards, one individual have 268 by himself, that's a concern. But I do feel that our defense will get a game plan together and just got to be ready to accept the challenge.
Yes, sir. Now, by accepting that challenge, Coach, and, we've talked about this, since you've been here, we know the basketball terminology. Is this one of those games where we notice that you kind of flip the script a little bit with more run? Do you see yourself possibly trying to balance out as far as time of possession? No, you don't put much emphasis on time of possession, but when you have the striking ability that you have offensively to help preserve that defense, is this one of those deals where you might kind of dial it back as far as controlling the clock a little bit more this week?
If it winds up coming in the ball game, it would happen. But I'll be honest with you, Mike, I'm aggressive.
Oh, I know that.
You don't change what you do and what's been successful for you. Fortunate enough, being aggressive and being able to do a balanced attack, it has been giving us a time of possession. We're going to do what we've been doing that's been successful for us, but I do believe you do what helps you to win. And that's the way that I look at it, and all my players will tell you the same thing. I'm not going to, because of a pride factor, because of what I want to prove. No, what I want to prove is I want to W. So whatever it takes, by any means necessary, that's the way we operate.
Right. Now, I know that they're under new leadership at Southern University. Do you go back to any of the old film under the old leadership to look at what they executed in, thinking that they might try to incorporate some of that, and plus what they're trying to do now under Coach Rollins?
Good thing about it, I know Coach Rollins well. I've been friends for a number of years. All his career, and know some of the things that he's been successful in doing, even stating back at McNeese as well as Northwestern State. But I also know the defensive coordinator in Lionel Washington. Not too familiar with the offensive coordinator, but I just look at everything. I'm a person that I'm a researcher, so I look at everything because everything can help you. You know what to do and what you shouldn't do. So I take a look at it, but I do like the procedure that we go through when we look at the last 3 games as a staff. For us myself, never know what I might take a look at. Whatever can benefit and help me be prepared for the upcoming game.
Okay. Well, the stage is definitely set, Coach, and the momentum is high. And I know you're going to keep your composure and stay, but I know the engine on the inside is churning 100 miles a minute to go ahead and get that thing done. And in most cases like this, it's homecoming, and people take offense when schools schedule from homecoming because people try to schedule a game that they think is winnable on homecoming. But whatever the case may be, I know it'll be the good son returning home back in Baton Rouge. Now, when you get back in Baton Rouge, is there a place that you like to go and slip away to get one of those down-home Louisiana meals, Coach?
I'll tell you what, if it was vacation time, yes. But I will say this here. When we load that bus on Friday, all of my players, all of the coaches, as well as myself, would be in suit and tie. It's strictly business. It's a business trip for us. So, boys going to find a place to eat, I don't know if that's going to take place. I know several places. The only thing is on my mind, we got a football game. It's got a challenging game, and we got to be up for the challenge.
Yes, sir. Well, definitely, but you're going to have to eat, Coach, so you can have some strength so you can finish that business at hand. And whatever the case may be, we're wishing you the best of success with that thing. The Panthers riding strong, riding high, knocking down each opponent in the conference as they faced up. But this, by far, is going to be a true test for the Panthers, not only mentally but physically on the field. And you know you got a good squad, but you're going to really know what you got after this game. Can you assess that to be factual, Coach?
Absolutely. I think I said it in this conference here. We got some great football teams, but some challenges are going to be a little tougher than others because of traditions and because of the success they may have had. So we do understand this is a hurdle right here to represent what we want to represent because they've been there so many times that they understand. But I do feel that we're at a place right now that we understand too, and it's time that we they take that next step and move forward. So looking forward for the challenge. Yes, it's going to be a very, very good atmosphere. I know it's going to be a hostile environment, but you got to accept that challenge and play the game.
Well, Coach, my only advice is you can't go wrong with that old goal, baby. You can't go wrong with it. Keep it shiny, keep it forward, and go Panthers on that. Coach, we truly appreciate you joining in with us. We know that you could be many other places, but you choose to be here with us, and we greatly appreciate that. We want to give you some closing thoughts and comments as we get ready to shut this segment down.
Things take place, and you can use so many different things as bulletin board material. Sometimes I may say some things I don't know what guys use, but that doesn't affect me. I understand it is homecoming, and I know it's going to be a hostile environment. So I'm telling that Panther Nation to come on down here with us, support us, and cheers on as we get ready to go into Jaguar country and face a good Southern football team. But know this here, that our young men going down to fight for 60 minutes, and we will be prepared and ready and be accepting the challenge. Full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead. I like the way that sounds, sir. And as they say, keep it locked and loaded. Stay focused on the mission at hand, and let's come back with another win. Coach, we truly appreciate you, and if the Lord say the same and the creek don't rise, we'll meet again on next week, sir.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach Eric Dooley of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, breaking things down on what the Panthers will need to do to be successful. This game is definitely huge. Definitely huge. Coach understands the magnitude of it. The players understand the magnitude of it. The fan base understands the magnitude of it because this will be that game that can truly be a statement game for Panthers football program to say we are here, we're not going anywhere, and guess what? That's just the way it is. And with that being said, you knock this thing down because this season, we're over halfway done now, ladies and gentlemen. We're over halfway done. Panthers have been strong. They've been consistent, doing exactly what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. So now it's just a matter of being consistent, finishing what you started, and letting the actions speak way louder than the words. And when we let the actions speak louder than the words, that everything that comes our way, everything that is lined up, everything that must be done shall be done. Panthers 4-0 in conference play, 5-1 overall, taking care of business, doing everything that must be done. Put them in front of them, we're going to take care of business. Put them beside us, we're going to take care of business. Whatever must be done, the Panthers have definitely answered to the call thus far. But there's still plenty of work to be done. There's still some trees to chop down, if you would. And that's what it's all about, being consistent, letting people know this is not an accident, this is not a fluke, this is not a test, this is the real deal. But notice, and I just love this part of it. The Panthers really been shining since they got them old gold back in their life. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but whatever the case may be, I'm happy with it. I'm enjoying it. And as they say, embracing the moment and saying what's going to be is going to be. And let's lock and load, rock and roll, and continue to say, go Panthers. Panthers, have they made you a believer yet? Have they given you what you need to be able to say, I'm on board, let's do this, let's represent Panther Nation, all for one, one for all? And they say, let's let it do what needs to be done. I am going to prepare myself to take a break. We'll be back with more of the Mike Prince Show right after this.
Reflections Paint and Auto Body Shop, located in Waller, Texas, is ready to restore the beauty of your automobile, whether it's a small dent or a major accident. Check out Reflections Paint or by highly skilled and trained professionals. They are located at 2910 Waller Street in Waller, Texas. And just in case you can't get it into them, they provide towing services. Call them today, 936-931-5780. The number again, 936-931-5780. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on a toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org. Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas.
This broadcast is made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics.
Have sports, real trap. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes of middle league, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from Butler to Tulsa. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, a station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network for student athletics.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sunday Night Live edition of the Mike Prince Show. Just had Coach Eric Dooley on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union hotline, talking about the importance of this game and being very transparent, echoing the exact same sentiments that this game is bigger than big. is larger than large. This is the game. There's absolutely no other way to put it. This is the game. And it's going to start right now. We'll really know what we have this week. And I just can't put any more emphasis on it, how important this game is. You look up and down the list, and Coach admitted it himself, you know he has to get over this hump. My only concern is that we don't overcoach, over-prepare for such a time as this. Because in the spirit of competition, sometimes we could be so anxious to want to do well and shut that thing down, get that monkey off your back, if you would, if you find yourself overextending. I'm just hoping that's really not the case this week. Strong running performance by the Jaguars over Pine Bluff. And we know that the Panthers are challenged at times of consistently stopping the run. I personally think that if you could keep that offense of the Panthers on the field a tad bit longer to help minimize the chances, keep that defense fresh, that could be part of the antidote for success this week in Baton Rouge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be extremely huge. And how the West is won, it really and truly, not could, but will start this week. Wow. Homecoming for Baton Rouge. Homecoming. And if you've never been at Baton Rouge, Southern University for homecoming, it is definitely a sight for sore eyes. RVs, as far as the eye can see, people as far as the eye can see. Don't know exactly how it will be with COVID restrictions now, but it's definitely a great atmosphere to be in. And with the Panthers being able to set themselves in pole position, taking care of business, this has the makings of an epic battle. An epic battle. Two coaches with really something to prove. Coach Rollins proving that he should be the head man, remove the interim tag. Dooley proving that he should be the man moving forward at Prairie View as the head coach. No secret, this is Coach Dooley's final year. And depending on who you ask, he needs to be in this position that he's in. He needs to finish strong. You know, it's hard to deny when the wins are there on your resume. And this game, I cannot overemphasize yet again, is going to be a significant game. Hopefully, pass can stay consistent. The offense, we don't necessarily worry about. But you want to help your defense as much as possible. And I know that people always talk about the three phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams. But I honestly believe there are four phases of the game. You must add that coaching element. If you go up and down the schedule, there has been a coaching decision or two that has had a major effect on the outcome of some of these games. And I think if we stay within, stay focused, stay disciplined, the coaching is going to be the key factor. When you go up and down the list, if you were to go pound for pound, who do you give it to? Offensively, you'll give it lead in the edge to Prairie View. Defensively, you'll give it to Southern. Special teams, in my opinion, it's a pick 'em. The fourth element is coaching. Rollins with a young staff, Dooley with a somewhat seasoned staff, but he's been in the trenches a tad bit longer. will that be the difference this week? Will the discipline be the difference this week? I've only had 6 penalties, under 60 yards last week, this past week against Bethune-Cookman. Those are the key elements that are going to make the difference. Those are the things that really and truly will shine through. And it's no question, no hesitation, that this is the make or break game for both institutions. This is a make or break game. Man, I cannot wait. I'm truly, truly fired up. I'm fired up. I'm so fired up that I went to see if they had any eligibility for me. They said, no, Mike, you too long in the tooth. Can't make that happen. So can't say I didn't try. I am going to exit stage left a bit early. I'm not going to, as they say, wear you out and make you happy twice. Happy to hear me open, then happy to hear me close. I didn't think he was going to ever stop. We truly thank you guys for joining in with us. We thank you for all the support. And we thank you for spreading the word. You can subscribe to the network on our YouTube channel, the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Follow me on Twitter at the Mike Prince Show. And our YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. My time has come where I must exit stage left. But it is always a joy, pleasure, and an honor to be able to open this microphone up and share our thoughts, opinions, and concerns with you, the listener. I've got to go. My time is far spent. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.